The last part is conclusion, and please remember the conclusion should now link with the objective of the study. So if your objective were to determine the outcome measures, you have to mention, did you find any appropriate response in the outcome measures or not. If your aims and objective were to only document the demographic or clinical epidemiological pattern, so please focus the conclusions only on the demographic or the epidemiological pattern. Do not start describing the interventions or the effects of a particular treatment. Again, the conclusion should not go beyond the data and should be based on the study results and population. And in some cases, both in case of journal articles and in case of dissertation, you can actually write recommendations that what would be the use of these findings for the general public or for the healthcare industry. Acknowledgement is the last section, or it is often optional. In case of dissertation or thesis, this is usually written first of all after the title page probably. But in case of journal, it is written in the last, after the conclusion and just before the reference section. So it is a place where you thank people who have helped with the work but did not make contributions deserving authorship. So again, we discussed this in detail already. If somebody has helped you in data collection only, if somebody has given you logistical support, somebody has helped you secure research funding, somebody has helped you do some literature search, all of them are very important part of the whole paradigm of writing a research dissertation or article. But remember that only doing this work does not justify any authorship. So please simply thank them, acknowledge them profusely, but do not place their name in the authorship section. And it's important that the permission should be obtained from people you wish to list. Sometimes, people do not want their name to be listed. और ये मेरे साथ हो चुका है. One of my senior colleagues from abroad. So one of my colleagues, we were working on a research. The research was not of high quality. So we sent that article for review to my colleague, the American professor in US, and he revised the article very well. But he was not comfortable with the quality of the research, and he actually emailed me that please do not put my name in the acknowledgement section, because he was not very much comfortable that his name should be associated with low quality research. So just because people are helping you does not mean कि आप उनका नाम उनसे पूछे बगैर डालेंगे. You need to ask for formal permission for them कि हम आपका नाम acknowledgement section में डाल रहे हैं. Giving you a couple of examples, look at the same article that I showed you. And look at this acknowledgement. This study was funded by BioGea AB, Stockholm, Sweden. We thank this and this for collecting fecal sample, and Cecilia and Clara for analysis of fecal Lactobacillus reuteri. So here some people have helped them in funding, in collecting the data and running the analysis, and they have acknowledged them and thanked them. Again, another acknowledgement appreciation is extended to recruiting center. For example, in this case, there were certain centers who were recruiting patients for this particular research, and the researchers have thanked the recruiting centers. And if you see in the last, this Kristen Finn and Sarah of Nestle Nutrition, so probably Nestle Nutrition provided them the clinical and logistical contribution and support, and they are like thanking them in the acknowledgement section. So you can acknowledge, you can thank anybody who has provided you with support or who has contributed toward creation of that research project. But if they have contributed as per the ICMJ authorship criteria, then their names should be mentioned in the authorship list. So this was all about acknowledgement. For Dow University students at this stage, if your dissertation or thesis is complete, so these are the steps that you are going to do later on. You are going to submit 3 copies of your research thesis along with your supervisor's certificate and all other annexures and the cover letter to ORIC, Office of Research Integrity and Commercialization. In your case, probably it's the OJA campus of Dow. And then it goes through this procedure that, it will be sent, the thesis, the hard copy of the thesis will be sent to 3 reviewers. And all of these reviewers will be outside province of Sindh. And if one of them gives comments that this is not defendable, or 2 of them, they raise certain major issues, the thesis will be sent back to you for further revisions and improvement. But if there are like 2 minor comments or 2 reviewers, they give simple minor comments, then it will be for further brought up for the proper thesis examination. and in which again you have to defend your thesis in front of 3 examiners. There will be 2 external examiners from Karachi, and one would be your local examiner from your own institute, and your research supervisor will be sitting with you. But mostly it would be you who will be defending your research thesis. And if they think that your defense of thesis is very good and you have answered all the questions satisfactorily, they would give you approval and approval of the thesis, and you would get your final degree. But if they think that your defense of thesis was not up to the mark, it was poor, there were certain academic flaws, they are going to request you for a re-examination. Then you have to come back again prepared. So this is specifically for students of Dow, but I think in most of the universities of Pakistan, the same format is used, that it is sent for external review, and if they approve it, only then defense of thesis is held. So the last thing is that if you are doing medical writing, whether for a research thesis, a research protocol, a research report, or an original research article for a biomedical journal, there are certain things that can make this journey easier for you. If you're writing an article, please read some paper that have already been published in your target journal. And if you are writing a thesis, please review some thesis in your own subject, in your specialty, before you start writing. So you can get these theses either from your own departmental or institution library, or you can go online on HEC website, or you can go online on oatd.org. And whenever you read these articles or you read these theses as a sample, you need to make point, or you need to note the following things. Number one, what is the average length of the dissertation or the article allowed? For example, if they allow, if the usual length of dissertation is between 80 to 100 pages, probably it's not a good idea to write a dissertation of 50 pages or a dissertation of 150 pages. Try to remain with that, within that limit. Then again, the type of content, how it is organized, what are different sections for different kind of writing, what are the phrases commonly used. I have not discussed this thing in detail, but you need to understand that specifically while you're writing a dissertation for a article for a research journal, biomedical journal, international biomedical journal, you need to be very much clear that whether they use the British English or the American English. Now again, the simple things matter most. You might want to say, sir, isme kya badi baat hai? What's the big deal? No, there's a big deal. Why? Because the default of Microsoft Office or Microsoft Word is American English. And many of the journals, including our JPMA, Journal of Pakistan Medical Association, they ask you to write in British English. So if you write in American English, COLOR, color, it will be highlighted as a mistake in a word processor which is working on British English, because British English would say that the spelling of color is COLOUR. So there's not many examples, and small simple things matter most. Please do take care of these small things. Citation of references, that whether they are asking for Vancouver style, they are asking for APA style, Harvard style, Chicago style, whatever style they say, you have to follow that. Otherwise your dissertation or article will not be processed. And use these as a model. So thank you for your time and attention. Sorry, I overshot my time today. So if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you very much.